I go with Lela and then you're coming to pick me up? And I said, yes, baby, go get your shoes and give them to Bibi to put them on. Like, I'll do it. Alexis, just go get your shoes. And Alexis is like, okay, baby. Like, in her, like, 4-year-old voice. And all the kids were there. Viviana was irritated with the situation, but, like, just an eye roll. Louis was, like, also, like, whatever, I'll just do it. Alexis was just so, like, what's going on, you know? I'm going to go to Lila's, and then you're going to pick me up after work. And that was just basically, like, a dialogue that took place maybe a couple times a week, replaced work with whatever was going on. The only time I left my children was when they went to see their fathers. It was just a very disturbing way to wake up this morning on only 5 or 6 hours of sleep. I'm exhausted. I miss my kids. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, as I've said numerous times. But I just want to go home. And that's it. So that's the update for the day. Someone took a shit in Xavier's chanclas. I'm drinking Metamucil to poop. And I did poop yesterday, but it's like I need to poop daily, you know? And it was like 4 days of not pooping. So anyone who knows anything about the human body knows that it is in our best interest to have regular bowel movements. Especially, and I know this sounds funny, but especially if you're not a person who has you need to help yourself out a little. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying you're carrying around a lot of extra weight. Think about the physical action of what happens when you're having sex. As a woman, you are being penetrated in the area where your bowel is. So even though it's not that hole, there's a ruckus, a commotion is going on down there. So anything that would be too solid to pass naturally when you're having healthy sex is going to pass on its own after having sex, especially if you have sex regularly, if you're in a committed relationship, which I'm monogamous or abstinent most of the time since my last relationship. Xavier and I don't have sex with anyone else. But you can definitely tell when a woman has not had sex for a long time. She's so full of shit that her like abdomen is hard and then puffy. So you have the bloating on top of like the hardness. It's it's a terrible problem to have. It's not funny. It's not comfortable. Regular bowel movements are 100% necessary for life. Please. I need other things more than, or in equal amounts as regular bowel movements. As equally as important as it is to have regular access to an indoor toilet for bowel movements, it would be equally as important to not have urgency in my bowel when you finally decide to let me poop. So if you know I'm sleeping in a tent with no access or limited access to indoor plumbing overnight, especially, causing urgency in a bowel movement would force a desperate situation, probably a messy situation. I'm not alone here, right? So let's try to be respectful in what the fuck you losers are doing to people. I mean, have a little respect. My God, you want to talk about degrading and dehumanizing? Those are two very good examples of ways that you probably don't even realize you're degrading and dehumanizing everyone around you by making them sleep outdoors. It is not acceptable. So I don't know what the fuck we need to do about this, but we have to do something. This is so fucked up. So shout out to the lady with the pancake. Thank you so much. It was delicious. For real, thank you. If you want to bring one more, no, but for real though, if you guys are going broke like I was, I know you are, you have to get a thing of protein and just try making pancake stretch as long as possible and adding a half a scoop of fiber and a full scoop of protein and replacing one of your days of meals or one of your meals of the day with that. that helped me spread my meals a really long time when I was in the end stages before I completely started running out of money. And my communication with my sponsors was all cut off. So it's like what I've come to terms and conclusions with is that a bunch of influencers who do have sponsorship, the money gets sent as normal, but those influencers have been targeted and essentially kidnapped. Technologically, they are not able to reach their friends and family members or people who could help them. Law enforcement is typically boxed out. And it's typically better for law enforcement to take a more passive approach at resolving these issues in the sense that they'll hear everything that's going on if they're quiet enough to listen for just a few days. They'll easily be able to find out where the money is going, where it's supposed to be going. Some cases that have not been discovered for longer, like this has been going on for years for some influencers and they still haven't been discovered. Their parents think they're okay. They think they're traveling. They still make their travel videos, but they're being oppressed in a lot of circumstances like this, intense or even worse. And the money that's being sent to them as sponsorship opportunities, much like my own situation, is being intercepted by nefarious third parties. For me, I've never been sponsored for hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? My sponsors have been smaller, thousands of dollars, donations, clothes, things of that nature. But what happens is when these nefarious people around in the area find out that you're being sponsored in any way, even if it's just for a meal, they go after the person donating. And then they start telling that person, look, you're going to give me that money. Or they do it really low key and just intercept. If it's like a bank transfer or maybe like a donation. In my experience, Cash App has been the only app that I've not gotten fucked over with. No one has ever stolen $1 out of my Cash App, ever. I can't say the same about my bank account, and I definitely can't say the same about my bank account. I bank with PNC. I'll keep the money in one account and then cash it out to PNC literally right before I'm about to use the debit card. That's how bad it's gotten. But keep this in mind, you guys, if you're donating or you want to donate or you're wondering or you sent a donation, but you're like, I sent them something. They shouldn't be asking for help or they shouldn't be sleeping in a tent. I sponsored that. Something is going on, something deeper, and law enforcement has to stay out but in. You know what I mean? So, all right, you guys, have a good day, please. I want to go see my children, please, and I'm hungry to not have to beg for food. If that could be, arranged, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Love you. Heather Gillespie, Coco Show, YSL, GoPro Solo, and Xavier. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah. Shout out to Elle Fanning.
Shout out to Elle Fanning.